Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the latest episode of our Franchise Readiness Series, where we help people considering the path of business ownership, understand the options and opportunities available, and how franchising could be the choice that works for them. I'm your host, Brian Wieters, Group Vice President of Franchise Development at Neighborly. I've spent over 30 years in franchising now, leading development teams at multiple brands in the quick serve, business services, and home services industries. My guest today is Jeff Pepperney. Jeff is the president of Real Property Management, a franchise in the Neighborly family of brands. Real Property Management is the largest full-service residential property management franchise in North America, with over 35 years of industry expertise and more than 400 independently owned and operated locations. Each location provides professional and comprehensive property management expertise to thousands of property investors and rental homeowners nationwide. Jeff leads operations and manages teams engaged in corporate operations, field operations, and customer experience. Jeff has spent his career focused on driving results in operations management and innovation while overseeing multi-site operations for Fortune 200 enterprise corporations and supporting franchisees in growing their businesses and achieving success. Jeff owes his success to an ability to build highly effective strategies that drive measurable improvements in efficiency, productivity, and revenue. Jeff believes that there are many real estate professionals out there that don't realize how powerful the combination of their experience and their relationships paired with a home services franchise can be in propelling them toward success as a business owner. He's with me today to bring more awareness to this opportunity and help more people realize their professional goals, even in uncertain economic conditions. Welcome, Jeff Pepperney.
Thank you, Brian. It's great to be here with you.
Great to have you. We're looking forward to listening to this topic and learning more about the industry and how franchising can be great for professionals that make their living in and around real estate. So let's get started. I think one of the things that's top of mind for people in the industry today is just what exactly is going on. What's the state of the real estate industry today?
Yeah, Brian, let me start with the statistic, right? The U.S. real estate market has weakened for the 12th straight month and is now at an all-time place that it's at its lowest level since October of 2010. 13 years it has been since the real estate market is where it's at in terms of weakness. And we hear it, right? We hear it through news sources, through our network, through our partnerships. And there's really two big components that we continue to hear these words. First is inflation, right? Inflation, we've heard that every day for the last 6 months. Go back 6 months, that word wasn't even in the playbook for anybody. It is costing more and more for a lot of things the average homeowner and consumer need. Mm-hmm. Second is rates, specifically mortgage rates, right? Mortgage rates right now range anywhere from 6.5% to 7% for a 30-year fixed. Rewind us back 12 months, 18 months ago, was one of the all-time lowest rates that we had. So the cost of homeownership is getting to the point where affordability becomes the topic that's at the kitchen table. So you think about those headwinds, right, from an economic standpoint, and people are starting to pull back and saying it's no longer the right time, right, to put my house on the market, which we saw that in the property management spaces. People were going to market with their house on Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. By Friday, 10, 20 cash offers, right. $50,000, $100,000 over asking price. It was something that I don't think we've seen in our lifetime happen at that point. We believe, right, through the data, that we're on the other side of that, which is now rates begin to be an issue. Inflation is continuing issue. Affordability is the topic. So what we're starting to see in the real estate market is people are thinking, maybe it's time that I stay married to that rate that I locked in. Either I refinanced it or I purchased that, forever house and I'm going to stay. It's probably not the right time to trade up because what I trade up to, I can't get what I want based on rates.
Yeah, we experienced that in our own family. We sold our home in April of 2022. Had the exact same experience you just described, put it on the market on Friday, had multiple offers by Saturday, had a deal closed within 30 days, right? For well over asking price.
Yep.
Right. Did not want to be a buyer on the other side of that, so we made the choice to rent for a little while. And so, which plays right into what you're talking about. Right?
Absolutely.
So, okay. So given where we are today, what should professionals in the real estate space be thinking or doing?
Yeah, I think it's a couple components. I think first is continue to chase what you're passionate of, right? You got into the real estate market for a reason, right? You're passionate. Likely it was for the client relationship side, right? Where you're engaging with somebody in your community, helping them solve what they're looking for as a family, which is either exiting a house, right? Or purchasing a house. So keep chasing what you're passionate about. I think that's what we all do every day. But it's probably a chance right now to keep your options open. And we'll unpack a little bit more about what are some of those options that we see in the home service category that could be and should be a natural fit for real estate agents. One other statistic, I think, when we talk about real estate agents, data tells us there's almost 3 million real estate agents in the US. That's a big number compared to the number of homes that are on the market for sale, right? So you have buyer side, you have seller side in terms of agents. The supply demand is not matching up right now to where it's at, right? So there's some cause for concern about real estate agents about, hey, there's not enough there, whether I'm on the buy side or sell side. So, which is why we say is keep the options open, explore some things potentially about going into business for yourself.
Got it. So given all that, it sounds like there's keeping your options open. Let's talk a little bit about franchising. So why is franchising, particularly in the home services space, in home service franchising, why would that be attractive to professionals in the real estate space? And as a follow-up to that, what is it about the combination of their experience and franchise ownership that's so strong, that makes such a strong argument?
Absolutely. I think the first starting point is franchising. Franchising is about being in business for yourself, but not by yourself, right? You have a team, your franchisor, right, that is there to support you from the time that you're awarded a franchise, right, to build the foundations of your business. And then as you work on continuing your growth strategies, you've got people that are on support teams at the home office in a whole bunch of different disciplines, whether it's helping you with your marketing strategies, whether it's the software and technology that you'll use to operate your business or your clients will use, whether it is sales strategies, right? So how does that fit in for real estate agents in the world of home and consumer services, right? Mm-hmm. Specifically in home services, consumers that own their house, right, are passionate about that. It is the number one most tangible asset that they'll have in their lifetime. So what do? Is you protect that, especially as we talked earlier about is people are not trading up. People are marrying into what they have to that satisfaction of is I love my house. Now we need to take care of the house, right? So within the house, right, there's some things that break oftentimes. We think in terms of the real estate agents, right? They love client relationships. Whether it's selling or helping a person buy a home is really no different than helping a homeowner, right, achieve enhancing their property, repairing their property, maintaining their property, because that may be their forever home.
Got it. So, which is really interesting to think about as the aging of our home inventory, right? The home inventory in the U.S. continues to get older and older, right? Our homes aren't getting newer and newer. So there's more and more need for these services and that kind of thing. So how is it that, and that's one of the reasons that Neighborly is in that home services space. So are there advantages to using a Neighborly brand or going with a Neighborly brand for business ownership, right? For franchise ownership, for real estate professionals? And if there are, what do you see those advantages as?
Yeah. To your question, it's a resounding yes. Are there advantages? Yes. Neighborly, we are the hub for home services. And so let me unpack what that word really means. At Neighborly, we have 30 consumer and home services brands, right, across about every vertical possible, both here in the U.S. and internationally. So you think about, let's go back to the primary residence, right, of that home. Most houses have about 6 appliances. We have an appliance repair company, right, that can work on everything from your washer, your dryer, your fridge, your freezer, etc. The heating and cooling system in a home. We have a franchise concept that can help service, repair, and or replace and install a new heating and ventilation system. The list goes on, right? So we have outside pest control company. We have a company that works on outside landscaping, right? We have a company that works on electric, anything that's needed in the house. And so you think about that. We have a plumbing category, and we have real property management, right? That ultimately helps investors build wealth. So as to think about Neighborly as the hub for home services is, why is that powerful? We are the marketplace for all consumers that own and or rent homes that will have a service event or a need to enhance their property or a need to maintain their property. We become a marketplace. We have millions of customers over those 30 brands, right? And as you know, as a consumer, there's a high propensity, right? You're looking for convenience. You're looking for the reputation of an organization and someone that you trust coming into that home to help bring a product back to function. And so we facilitate that at Neighborly as the hub for home services.
Got it. So which is quite an advantage, I would think, across all of the brands to be a part of that Neighborly hub and that Neighborly ecosphere, as you will.
Without a doubt. And so you think about it from, as we talk about, from a business ownership, right? As being a franchise owner,
right?
We have over 5,000 franchise owners in the Neighborly system. So you think about the different people that have come and joined to be in franchising because they wanted to be in business for themselves, but they didn't want to go alone, right? They wanted a relationship with a premier organization to help them ultimately fulfill their dream of business ownership. So we say too, is we've always heard this phrase, right? Your net worth is about what your network is, right? Or flip that over, right? Your network is your net worth. And so we think about, where else could you find, right? And whether that's in a single brand like Real Property Management or AirServe or Mr. Rooter or the other 27, right? In an individual brand or across the entire Neighborly ecosphere, where else can you find 5,000 business owners that are all working for the same ultimate goal, which is fulfilling the dream of business ownership, helping them grow, scale, and achieve great success. So we have that in terms of our ecosystem within Neighborly.
That's wonderful. So how does, then let's talk a little bit more specific. Let's get a little bit more specific and talk about your brand, Real Property Management. And what are the advantages that Real Property Management offers to real estate professionals, people that are in the professional or in the real estate space?
Yep, absolutely. We talk about at Real Property Management, our purpose, right, is to build a service community that enriches people's lives by delivering amazing experiences. And so you think about our target consumer is the intentional investor. At Real Property Management across the U.S., we manage over 70,000 properties. Wow. 2/3 of that book of business are intentional investors. Okay. With really one single purpose, right? I told you what our purpose was as a brand. Their purpose in terms of why are they investing in real estate, it's about wealth generation. They understand the need and value of having a trusted professional property management company, Real Property Management, to help them optimize their return on investment, right? Manage their asset, and ultimately for the investor is they get back time and peace of mind. Right. They view this as, this is my wealth generation vehicle, whether that's financial freedom, whether that's retirement, whether that is paying for a child's college, whatever that is and how they define wealth generation, that's where Real Property Management comes in and helps them in that quest. And again, when we think about it is, how do we help them preserve their asset, right? That asset, as I talked about earlier, the number one in terms of financial asset that a homeowner will own, we preserve that asset. We help them optimize that return on investment because an asset should be appreciating, an asset should be optimizing, right? We perform the standard services of property management, right? But investors know that that's going to happen. They want a partner who can help them add more doors to their portfolio. When's the right time to exit? When's the right time to buy? We'll talk a little bit later about how we help facilitate that. But that's ultimately what we're looking for in terms of relationship with our investors and our Real Property Management franchise owners.
Got it. Talk a little bit more, just for our audience's sake, You mentioned the term intentional investor, that's the main client that you're going after at Real Property Management. Kind of just flesh that out a little bit. Who is that? What is that? Why are they your target audience?
Yep. Yeah. So let's pack some statistics in there, right?
Okay.
So we know our intentional investors through our research are affluent. They skew a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
They 85% have a college degree.
Okay.
50% have an advanced degree, whether that's a master's or a doctorate. Household income over $200,000, right? So you think about that intentional investor, really zoom way out. You have the ability from 2 macro level investments, some form of securities, right? So we think about stocks and bonds and mutual funds and those components, but I wrap that into securities. That's not our sweet spot.
Yeah.
The other part is investing in real estate. And intentional investors want to continue to add to their portfolio and have a partner to help them manage that property, qualify the right tenants, make sure that we get the right lease rates out there for rental, right? In the event that we need to enforce compliance. The other component intentional investors are looking for is really on the financial side. So you think about wealth management, right? Again, that's securities. When you're working with your financial advisor or your financial planner, they're talking about what the value of your portfolio is, how is it increasing. At Real Property Management, that's a relationship with what we have with our investors, is really talking about their wealth goals that they're looking for and how do we help them achieve that in year 1, in year 3, in year 5,
Right.
and the out years.
That's wonderful. I just wanted to get a little more definition on that and why we focus on that. That's a great observation. So Jeff, I really appreciate it. I appreciate your insight into franchising and the way that Neighborly can help. A few questions have come up as we've been speaking that have come in for the audience. You have some time to answer some of those?
Absolutely.
Great. So the first question that came up, somebody sent in was, I already have a business or a few properties. How would franchising help me? So
Yeah.
I'm already in that space. I've got a couple of properties that I manage. Maybe they're my own, maybe they're not. How would franchising help me?
Absolutely. So we put you into the DIY category, right? So you're the do it yourself person that thought about, hey, maybe I'll get into rental investment properties, which applaud you for that, right? Again, thinking about what your goals are individually, helping bring you into our franchise system, right? To teach you the principles of real property management. And you think about in franchising and all of our Neighborly brands, the marketing support, the technology stacks that we're using, right? Our point of sale systems, helping in lead generation of clients, right? Helping in terms of your operational efficiencies and processes, helping through our vendor network partnership, where we have elite vendors already in place through our Pro Trade Net. So you think about what we have to offer there coming into Real Property Management, and then you're coming in with maybe 1 or 2 properties your own, where you're coming in to say is, hey, now I can individually, right, start to build out my portfolio and maybe do things a little bit more efficiently,
Right.
maybe do things a little bit more financially beneficial to you to get that return on investment, and then ultimately help you grow your individual or family portfolio as you're coming in and building a Real Property Management franchise and helping investors. So ultimately it's positioning you rather than a DIY, positioning you to be an investor in the real estate marketplace.
Great. So it kind of gives you that ability to grow wealth in 2 different ways.
That's right.
Right. So as a property owner, right, continue to invest as well as a business owner.
That's right.
Right. Same
Absolutely.
thing. That's wonderful. And for those that don't know, those are the 2 best ways to build wealth in the United States.
Absolutely.
Right? Property ownership, small business ownership.
Absolutely.
So I had another question that came up. What technology or systems are available to help franchise owners manage the business and deliver for clients?
Yeah, that is a fantastic question, because at Real Property Management, one of our 5 pillars to build and grow is innovation.
Okay.
Right. So we think about our technology from a business owner on how he or she and their team is operating their business to get high efficiencies. And the other side of our technology is client facing, right? That investor as well as that potential resident. So both of our technology stacks, kind of let me separate those and talk about our franchise owners, right? So we have a hub operating system that we use that connects all of our technology that you'll use as a franchise owner to run your business, everything from leads that come in on how the leads are managed, how the leads are followed up on. And then once we convert into a management agreement, we have a system in terms of our operation. So workflow.
Right.
So you think about in the property management space, right? We're going to need to qualify the right resident. We use software that we could actually have residents go out and view the property without a leasing agent.
Oh.
Or they could do it from the peace of mind of wherever they're living today. So I think about resident side, I think about investor side. Our product, we have a proprietary product called the Wealth Optimizer, right? So again, talking about the investor in terms of what they're looking for.
Right.
The investor wants to know you're preserving their asset, you're helping them optimize your ROI. Yeah, it is table stakes. They expect you'll collect rent.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find the qualified tenant. You'll perform the maintenance. Our Wealth Optimizer product gives us the ability to work with our investors from a financial and from an asset management perspective. So you think about words like cash on cash, internal rate of reserve, cap rate, appreciation, depreciation. So we're working with investors through our platform, Wealth Optimizer, in terms of attracting. And also, too, we have some of our existing investors think is maybe it's the right time to sell. We run that through our modeling, and it may say is, you're right, and it may say is, hey, if you held this property for 5 or 10 more years, here's the wealth you could continue to build. So it's understanding what they're looking for. So technology is a huge driver at Real Property Management and across Neighborly as well in terms of the investments we're making in our digital space, both from a lead acquisition standpoint, a client management standpoint, and then from operational efficiencies through our brand and all other Neighborly brands.
Got it. And that's a huge plus for Neighborly and in the franchise space is that ability to take data and so much data that's coming in from our millions of customers, right?
Absolutely.
And use the data science that we have on staff, our own data scientists, to say, okay, what's this data telling us, right? What do we know? How do we know to react to customers, or how do we be proactive in what a customer is going to need? And I think your Wealth Optimizer came out of that.
Absolutely.
Right? Of knowing, hey, this is something that's out there that investors are looking for and nobody else is offering it.
That's right. Yep. Again, as I talked about before, investors want to understand is how is my asset performing?
Right.
Is this the right strategy to acquire this property or this property? That product that we have, you can actually assess 3 of them side by side, right? So starting to think about is I'm looking at this property, and this property. Let the data guide you on what's the right decision to build wealth. Maybe not what's the emotional decision, which is, I like the way this one maybe looks, right? But let's go through that to set a baseline. Then we can have the informed client conversations about what's the right fit for your portfolio mix now to help you reach those financial goals that you're looking for in 3 or 5 or 10 years.
Wow, that's great. That's just a wonderful tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more thing in terms of our technology, right? So you think about in the property management space and real estate agents who we're speaking to, right? There's a lot of them that are watching this. Think about in terms of property management, one of the pain points in property management is maintenance, right? So if you think about the 3 legs of the property management stool, managing the property, leasing the property, and maintaining the property. Yep. People say, well, maintenance, that's a tough category. That is a tough category. Neighborly is the hub of home services, right? So you think about our franchise owners across the U.S., right? We have over 400 locations. They have a built-in network of plumbers, of electricians, of HVAC, of appliance techs, of people that help outside, right? Of people that are able to paint their home inside or outside. People, our residents or our homeowners or the investors that they own their own property are looking to have their property cleaned. Right. So you think about that maintenance pain point, that maintenance solution comes from Neighborly because we're the hub of home services.
Right. Being completely vertically integrated, if you will.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. This has been really great information. Hopefully people can see how powerful the combination of real estate experience and home services franchising can be, regardless of what the economy does. And thanks again for tuning in. When it comes to franchising, we know there are many opportunities out there to consider. We hope you can see the kinds of thought leaders and resources you have access to when you work with Neighborly. When the time comes and you're ready to explore franchise business ownership, and possibly Neighborly, and any one of our 19 North American brands, you can visit our website at franchise.neighborly.com for more information, or you can reach out to us directly. We're always willing to help guide you on your journey or get you in touch with one of our experienced franchise developers. We've also provided QR codes, which you can see on screen now. If you scan the first one, you'll be taken directly to the Neighborly franchising site that I just mentioned. If you scan the second one, you'll go directly to Jeff's Real Property Management brand for more information. Before you go, there are a few other reminders I have for you. A replay of this webinar will be available on our website, so you can rewatch as many times as you'd like. We'll also provide the replay link via email for you to review or share with someone else. Be sure to check your email for information to register for our next webinar, and we thank you all for watching.